Scott Narver, last night was Bash in Berlin.
Jake Lloyd Bacon, I know, I watched.
They had a whole post show. I think that maybe you and I should get in on this post show action.
Ooh, we should do some Q&As, be real journalists.
Yeah, and since everybody's filling in for everybody, I'm going to fill in for WWE, so go ahead, ask me any questions you have.
Hey, so why hasn't Cody Rhodes gotten a shot at the AEW championship?
We just really want to concentrate on the positive stuff now. Next question.
Hey, so I just think it's kind of unfair that Cody Rhodes, he's been fighting for a long time. He's been telling a story, but I feel like his story's not finished yet in AEW. What's going on with that?
No comment. Next question.
Okay, now that CM Punk is done with Drew McIntyre, will we be seeing Jack Perry come into WWE?
We don't have the glass budget. I'm great at this.
WWE Bash in Berlin Fallout this week on Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody out there listening. All of our Palskis, we appreciate you tuning in to the program. We know there are 1,076 wrestling podcasts available to you, and we appreciate that you tune in to this one, that you are a part of this community. We are unfortunately not live once again today for the exclusive patron-only live stream, but 2 more episodes. Next week we won't be live, but then the one after that we should be live once again. So we appreciate those of you who stuck with us during the dark time.
So, hold on, you were appreciating me for a moment there.
Yeah.
Don't take that away.
Isn't that not just an understood, like, blanket appreciation that's always there, Scott?
No.
Oh, okay.
Part, not at all.
Great. So it's one side.
Even from the listeners.
Gotcha.
So I think we need more appreciation, even if it's wrestling style. Like, when they have we're going to have this person's appreciation night or celebration that they just won a championship. And for 5 minutes, they get something good. And then it's ruined by like a Giovanni Da Vinci.
Oh, is he a descendant?
Or other people that are up and coming that they show up and like, I'm going to crap on your celebration. Why don't you just shut up? And people go, oh, wow, never heard that before. And then they get disrespected.
Well, speaking of disrespecting people's celebrations, we must acknowledge our PWP champ, Andrea Beeler, record-setting champ for the month of August. Will defend that title because today it is the first episode of September and it is time for our PWP Championship Battle Royal. So stay tuned. Later on, we'll be picking our September champion. Will Andrea continue her record-setting reign?
Only if Tamina will allow it, apparently.
Only if Tamina. That's the only soundboard thing that I would use. If we had the old Johnny soundboard still,
yeah,
that'd be the only button I'd hit. It would be a Tamina button.
Saying Tamina.
Well, no, we'll have somebody else do it. Or we'll have, it'll be like the Tamina of her music, maybe.
Or just the moment where she's kind of mumbling with Nia Jax.
Yeah, that's probably, that would be what it would have been had it still been active up until this point.
I think you can get that thing for like $8 on eBay. It's really not a
his actual soundboard. Wasn't it just
his actual soundboard? Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was a separate device. I think it was on his computer. He was just using a software. Scott.
What?
Yeah. Do you think he had like an old Casio keyboard and he had each note programmed to a different wrestling sound?
I swear, when we were at the Stream.tv, he had a setup like he had a drum attached to his back, large drum. He had cymbals on the inside of his knees.
Right, of course.
An accordion, a little soundboard on top of that accordion, which is always very difficult to operate. A harmonica resting in front of him, in front of his mouth.
I think that was just the Stream TV's recording setup.
Oh man, it was way better than I thought it would be.
Well, anyways, hi Scott.
Hello, Jake.
How are you? I like your shirt.
Thanks. I wore it myself.
Last night was Bash in Berlin. Bash at the beach was something that
The Great American
involved Germany.
Bash
at
Berlin Beach.
We'll do your bit. Listen, at least they're keeping the alliterations.
Bib.
Bib.
Was it hashtag Bib last name? Was it?
I don't know. I didn't notice it. Probably just Bash in Berlin.
Because I kept calling it Bash at Berlin as well.
Right.
And that feels like, oh, you should take shots at them verbally.
Bash at the Basel. That's the one that was in Scotland.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was 5 matches. No celebrity bullshit. Nothing like that. Just
I'm
one
surprised.
Of the straight up simple.
I'm sure Hasselhoff was available.
He's hanging out with Hogan, hawking beers probably.
Oh no. They had a Trump rally somewhere.
Just the hawking beers though. That's just coincidental that Trump's nearby.
Gotcha. So I did watch. I watched the majority of it. There were some matches that I kind of was doing something else as it was happening, so I didn't really.
There was only 5.
And it's
so you say you watched the majority and then some matches. That it's a very small.
It was. I know, but
ratio.
I've been very busy with work, and it was on while I was working, and so I decided what matches.
This is your work, buddy.
Oh boy, it sure does feel like it today. Overall, I definitely enjoyed what I saw, and I feel like it's a testament, very broadly speaking, and I know that we'll talk about things in detail, but very broadly speaking, I feel like it's a testament to what WWE is doing good right now, because I have some booking issues with the show, yet the moments were still good and enjoyable, despite the fact that I can go, yeah, I still don't know why this happened or why they did it like that. And I think that's a testament to that. They're doing things right now that at least are presented in a way that work, even if it's fundamentally agreeing with the writing of it. I didn't write off the things that I didn't like because they were still well done by people who should have been in those positions, but.
I'm curious. We'll obviously get to it, what that is, because I didn't have issues with any of this. I thought it was done very well overall. I think the only thing is just 2 world titles.
Sure, of course,
being online in a show, but I get it. You got to get the American hero Cody out there,
and neither
Germans love him.
And neither of which, by the way, we thought anybody had any chance of losing. That also is a deterrent, where it's both title matches where we both feel like, yeah, this isn't one of those pay-per-views, But we can start at the beginning, because the first big issue I had was we started with Cody and KO. Wait, I think so. Is that where we started? Yeah. Okay. And while I think KO is the best candidate for this type of story, being that he didn't want to really hurt Cody. He didn't want to. He said he wanted to beat Cody at 100%. He didn't want to beat Cody at less than 100, and he had the issue with the knee. And he performed those moments well. But when you step back, the big picture is that, by trying to prove, by not wanting to beat Cody at less than 100%, you then showed that Cody doesn't need to be 100% to beat you. I feel like by telling that story of Cody's not at 100%, he could still beat KO though, even when he's not at 100%. I feel like that story is a little bit muddied for KO's sake. Now, KO is the kind of person, this is where I feel like every criticism I have is going to have sort of a self-argument. KO is the kind of person where this doesn't hurt him long run. And at any given point, he could be like, I had you. I could have done the power bomb on the apron. I held off. I could have attacked the leg. And
he did kick his knee.
Yeah. And he eventually did kick the knee. But he still didn't, the story they told were the killer instinct. I enjoyed heel Barrett on commentary saying what are you doing? Like this is the championship is on the line. Who cares? Blah blah blah. I enjoyed that part of it, and they did well with it. But yeah,
the post show gets into that too with Miz and Big E talking back and forth about it. Miz saying, "You got to do it. It's the title opportunity. These don't come around often. You have to go for it." And they made a big story about Kevin Owens in the commentary of the match, saying he hasn't had a singles title in
7 years.
Was it?
I think
almost since CM Punk got a win on television, basically.
Yeah, I think they said it on commentary a couple times too.
I think it's roughly 7 years, and they do acknowledge like, oh, but he also did stuff like he hasn't just been a losing schlub the whole time.
He's been tag champion. He doesn't have a
singles, like he has a friend. Okay, so I think they did a really great job at making Kevin Owens somebody right now of importance.
Sure.
Because I'd say for the last stretch of time here, Kevin Owens hasn't really had anything substantial going on.
He's been an accessory ever since the Bloodline story ended with Sammy. When it was him and Sammy versus the Bloodline, honestly, at that main event of that fucking Mania, like it was so good. But then
you had to be there.
Then after that, it did feel like, oh, now he's just kind of a guy who tags with different people, and he's always someone's friend. Like he's perpetual, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
I've certainly liked the stuff he's done with Orton.
Yes.
It's not to knock any of that, but right now he's three-dimensional.
Yeah, sure. And
there is something there. There is questions afterwards. People are wondering, like, will Kevin Owens try to reignite this? Is he questioning who he is? Because Cody in the post show saying, I think that's somebody asked, like, oh, I thought Kevin Owens was going to turn on you. He's like, yeah, that seems like an obvious story that people think they know what's going to happen in our show. But he says, like, speaking to Kevin Owens and I, my friendship, I think we're stronger than that.
Yeah.
Interesting going, because amongst all the Bloodline, all the things that are happening, for Kevin Owens to have additional character traits, or if he goes into some other program with somebody and it's the same type of thing, are you willing to go this far to get whatever rewards are for it? Or are you a man of principle and you're not going to do that?
Right.
Because he doesn't seem like he's a man of principle at all.
No. Also, there's something to be said where
if there's a pizza and like he's there with his wife and kid and there's one slice left, I think he's going to eat it.
Really?
No. Even if the kid's like, oh, I'm really hungry. Like, oh, really? Well, I paid for it.
No, not at first.
Like, he's that kind of dad.
At first, he's gonna
kicks his kid in the knee.
No, he's gonna give the kid the pizza and say, like, here, you can have it. Even though I'm hungry, you should have it. And then the kid is gonna say, like, oh, great, I need a lot of pizza. You know who survived on a lot of pizza for a while? My favorite wrestler, John Cena. He survived eating just pizzas, free pizzas for a while. He told the story. I saw it on YouTube. John Cena's my favorite. And then KO is going to be like, this little fucking shithead. And then he's going to take the pizza and be like, you know what? Fuck your pizza. Fuck Kevin. Fuck John Cena. I'm your favorite wrestler now.
Fuck your pizza.
Yeah, fuck your pizza.
An inappropriate thing for a father to say.
Yeah, well, listen, the killer instinct. He's gonna find it.
No wonder Kevin Owens never gets an endorsement deal. The line's like, fuck your pizza.
But I do still have an issue with, you and I talk a lot about the super finishers and about the like no selling of big moves. Like is the Crossroads just an ineffective move at this point? Like that was the one thing.
One of them is.
That's the one thing where I went, why? But Kevin Owens essentially no-sold two of them. And he didn't do the thing where he got
two of them
lucky.
don't work. He's proven that. He has to hit it 3 times in order for it to be at all effective.
It's kind of a problem. I'm not going to lie. Like it's become a bit silly.
I swear it's a bit amongst them.
It may be. I hope that it is.
That he has the worst finisher.
Because he did the double where he hangs on and he was going to go for a third. And I had KO squiggled out of the third one and hit him with the stunner. And then they both just fucking laid there for a minute because Kevin Owens just took 2 crossroads. And then he struggled to kind of get to a loose, shitty pin. then I would go, okay, that makes sense. You just took 2 of his finishers. But Kevin was fine. He was like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, because 2 of them don't work.
They don't do anything.
That's honestly how I look at it.
2 crossroads equal 1 chop from Gunther. Like
it's like getting a stunner from Austin without the kick wham.
Okay.
Like if you just got a stunner,
right,
you'd be like, no, that didn't work.
Right.
You have to have that kick in the gut first. That's Cody's
wham.
2 crossroads.
I like kick wham. We should make a shirt that says quick wham. Kick wham. Oh, fuck Tamina. Quick. God damn it.
Kick wham Tamina.
Kick.
That's what you say.
Wham stun. And then we'll make a second shirt that says quick wham Tamina.
Crossroads. Now it's going to work. Crossroads.
Oh, fuck. But yeah, I don't know. The crossroads is rough. The thing is, I feel like
it's been that way for,
I know.
I think since basically all he's been in WWE. I don't know how many times he hits it on Seth in that first match, but I swear to God, most matches are he has to hit it 3 times.
We should watch that and see if that happens. Maybe we'll watch that for a watch along one day soon. I wish that he would have finished him with like a pedigree, because it also would have played to the story. Because hasn't he started using that as well as the finisher?
He's done it from time to time, but there's too many. Seth does it like no more.
All right, then that's fine. Then a new thing. I wish he pulled some new big move
stunner.
Out. Yeah, maybe he pulls. Well, he does the springboard little Cody stunner, right?
Why can't Cody just do the crossroads in the other direction? Maybe he's doing it and he's getting wind resistance.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a little confusing. Sometimes people take it in a way where it looks like they thought he was going the other way with it. But I don't know. That is the only thing that really I didn't like. Like I said, I have a little bit of an issue with the whole story about getting beat when he's not 100%. But it seems like they're using that to be part of the story, so it's okay. But my only big gripe with this match was that fucking the double stun, the double crossroads no sell. But
yeah, but then you have a problem with every Cody Rhodes match.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong, to be honest with you. But all in all, I mean, they did what we thought they were going to do.
I thought it was great.
And they have such good chemistry, and KO is so good. Cody's obviously good too, but I just feel like Kevin Owens is just special. There's just something about that dude that I really fucking love. Like I think it's just his little belly. I think I just love that he just has that little belly, and it just makes him special. That's where he gets all his magic from.
He needs to be a bad guy again. Really does. Because Kevin Owens is a good guy. Is a little flat for me. We
literally did a best or a better healer face all about him, and I don't know that I ever committed to either side.
Sounds about right. You just want to be right, so you don't choose.
No, that's not an instance. I want to be sweet to Kevin Owens in case he wants to be my friend one day.
Why would Kevin Owens be your friend?
Maybe I'll put him in the moving pictures. I don't know, because we like the same music. That's part of it.
You do?
Yeah, we're both like 90s.
Are you thinking the same as Zane? They both like ska?
No. We both go. Ah, God damn it, Sammy. It was 2 years. Okay, you're hanging on to this thread. No, the 90s grunge era. He's got the live tattoo on him. I'm sure we can nerd out about music of the era. Plus, he's got that dinosaur tattoo. I love dinosaurs. Maybe we could talk about
the dead
dinosaurs. Yeah. It's alive in his heart. So it's still real to me. I don't know. Maybe he would hate me. Maybe we would not be friends at all. I feel like we have. I feel like we would be, if he could like Sammy, he would like me.
He's French Canadian though, so he doesn't like anybody.
Yeah, I don't like anybody either, except for him. So it fucking works out well.
So you say, but the name of your tag team can't be used because I didn't know it existed for another group. The Unholy Union fought Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the tag team titles. So what your criticism is about Cody not being 100%, yada yada,
right?
Was kind of my thing for this match, where it was. So how are Alba Fire and Isla Dawn going to beat them. Again, they're just the tag team that won in their hometown in a triple threat. And they just took a sneaky pin, and they're not credible in any way. And they didn't, I don't think, built them up properly, that they seem like a threat. And sure enough, they got beat.
Yeah, I don't agree with all of that, but I understand your point of view. I think my big takeaway of this match was, wow, Jade Cargill looks good in green, and wow, Jade Cargill is still very green. Those are my two big takeaways. I like Dawn and whatever her name is now, Fire.
Yeah, obviously.
And I think that they are credible. I think they look good. They look like they can wrestle. I think watching Jade poorly block and punches and try to throw, it's like they need to figure out her style, I think, in the ring, because it was just this was a very clunky match. This was unfortunately the least good match on the card this evening.
Yeah, but the other two are not great either, because they were not getting, there's no connection with anything, and they're selling like they got hit by something.
Yeah.
Was a constant like Isla Dawn and Alba. There's like stuff whiffing at them, and they're not getting in. It was just I don't know, just watching mimes fight each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that like they're doing a good job of protecting Jade in the position that she's in.
Sure.
But I'm worried that we're not really seeing much advancement on that front.
Well, I think they still keep her. It's still limited stuff. She's in a singles and she's squashing somebody, or she's in a tag and does like one or two too many things. Well, that she should do.
I will say if you didn't like this match, I think you're going to be upset. That my guess is it continues somehow, because it seems like Isla's foot was under the rope, like very intentionally. She kind of like stretched in a way to make it seem like they can show a replay and they can be like, oh, well, you didn't actually beat us because of this or whatever. I don't know.
Did they say that at all on commentary?
I didn't hear the commentary. I just saw that was one of those matches that I was kind of in and out of.
It wasn't brought up in the post show. There seems to be no angle of it at all. Right. So I think this is dead and done. I think this. Yeah. I don't think this helped. This felt like the old days of SmackDown, when it was, well, we got a new tag team. What do we do? Just have them win the tag team battles right away.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's not going to ultimately help. Like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. We had the home crowd. They felt good about it. And now these two go to the bottom. I don't know. I think unless they split anytime soon, the unholy union.
Yeah.
This is just.
I don't know. I think
this is just trouble for them in the long run.
I disagree, only because I think that these are like Hunter's girls. I think that he really likes them. And these were like NXT darlings of his. I think that I don't think he's going to let that happen. I think he's going to use them in ways that is effective, but maybe that's me being naive.
I'm sure he loves everybody, but at some point at the end of the day, it's, look, we have nothing for you, or everybody else is outshining you, so can't use you in that way. They're not going to be in a prominent spot.
Okay.
That's my guess. But this was the only match where I was like, meh, it's fine, but the big whiffs, at least it wasn't the ladder match where everyone's hurting themselves. It was just a lot of misses.
Right.
Which is better than a lot of potatoes and a lot of broken bones.
Right.
But then we get into some violent shit.
Before we move on, can we talk about something that I noticed that's a big general for the show? No LED panels anywhere. They weren't on the apron. They weren't on the barricade. They weren't on the turnposts. It was great. Not
on the posts?
No, wow. They weren't on the turnposts either. There were no LED panels that I saw. It was like old school. It was fantastic. Now, they might have not had them on the post because they needed to have them off for the strap match to mount the lights and stuff, but still none on the apron. It was just like it was the old traditional ring apron. The barricade, they just like tacked the logos for the sponsor onto the barricade itself instead of having it be
for the movie or the broken shitty game.
The Killers or whatever it was. Something about
the Killers game and the Star Wars Outlaws.
But man, I was shocked, and I thought, oh, look, why does this look so good? Why does this feel unique? And it was because it just looked like old school. It looked very old school.
It wasn't obtrusive.
No.
So I like that about the sponsorship matches, that you just see a sign, not constantly moving. It's not
animated.
Too bright.
Right. Yep.
I can see it and go, oh, okay, Batista's got a new movie.
It blends.
I'd like to check that out.
They'll put
there's a new Star Wars game. It looks terrible.
They'll put a little bug in the corner, on the screen, and then we'll know that this is sponsored by that thing, and then you can take it off.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about Star Wars. I was like, there's a lot of bugs in that game.
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't catch the Star Wars commercial at all.
You haven't heard of this game at all, Star Wars Outlaws?
Is this like an open world? You can fly to a planet and off a planet?
Yep.
Something like that? Gotcha.
And you can be stuck. And there's no loading screens, but there totally are.
I don't know.
And the gal that you're playing as punches stormtroopers in the head to knock them out?
Nope. I haven't heard any of this.
All right.
I mean, in fairness, it seems like a great way to take out stormtroopers, to punch them in the head.
Yeah, and
just
not break your hand entirely.
Just clank it around. What? Those helmets are made of plastic. I see them at Comic-Con all the time.
You still hurt your hand. Come on.
So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that there was no obsessive LED marketing all evening. And I was curious to whether or not it was intentional, or it was like, oh, we don't want to bring all that shit overseas. If it was just like a shipping issue. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't remember what the last overseas pay-per-view was, and I'm curious if it was on that one as well.
The one before SummerSlam. I mean, it's only been Rumble, Mania, and SummerSlam that have been in the States, and then Bad Blood is going to be in the States.
Gotcha.
And then everything else is
overseas.
Foreign.
Well, yeah, anyways, I wonder if it's a travel issue and we just haven't noticed it the last times, or if this was the first time it wasn't there. Maybe the listeners
first time
research and talk about it in the Discord.
Next up, we have the strap match of CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And this is a strap match in which you had to touch all four corners. And when you do it, they light up. You have a designated light to who you are, which I didn't catch that beforehand.
Oh, no.
I thought it was going to be like a green means go, and you're good. And then if something happens, it's a red stop. Like, oh, no, it's bad.
They've done this. They did this.
Red
before.
is designated to the bad guy, and green's the good guy. Because Star Wars.
They have done this before with this style, with the two lights. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Cena, maybe? Yeah.
It's Rusev and Cena did it. Yeah. I know.
But I don't know. I'm torn on this because these guys are fucking great. They did a really good job, but Drew is so big and he has such a fucking wingspan about him that this felt like the slow ladder climb for most of the match, where he seemed like he could always reach any turnbuckle he wanted to pretty easily because he's so fucking big and long. That was the only thing where like my suspension disbelief was really struggling with, like, oh, but it seems like you could reach this. Seems like you have to do a lot of work to make it seem like you can't reach. It's sort of like when people are trying to get a hot tag and they're like, oh, maybe if you just leaned in the extra inch that we could clearly see you have available to you, then you'd make it. It was a little bit of that, but fuck, these guys have such good chemistry. And boy, did they use the strap in really good ways.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
This is real,
especially because no Seth Rollins, so
yeah, and
especially wonderful.
I dug at first the ending. I thought I was so all right. I know we have, it's been a while since we've done a Rules of Wrestling episode. I feel like we should definitely do a Rules of Wrestling episode and include this match, because I thought that even when they started, that you have to touch the turnbuckles in consecutive order. But yeah. I always thought that there couldn't be physical contact with the competitor in between the two. I always thought
basically,
that was
if you're on the offensive, you can keep going no matter what.
Gotcha. But the second there's any sort of thing done to you, then you're...
It's like breaking up a pin. If
okay.
someone touches you, while you're pinning someone, then the ref goes like, it's no longer a pin.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense, because I will say the like 3 go to sleeps was fun, but it also felt like, wait, aren't you constantly resetting your own thing here? We're just letting it go. But I guess that makes sense if it was
a nod to Cody.
Yeah. But I think he could have won after the first one. I think he did it just to punish him, which was nice.
I like that it played into Punk has been distracted. Punk keeps trying to get revenge. He could fuck this up. So it gave me the suspension of disbelief, like, oh, he's going to fuck it up. He's going too far.
Right. Yes.
Drew's going to wake up and
I definitely thought after
turn on him
the third, or when he was going to touch the 4th turnbuckle, I thought, oh no, he's going to kick out and Claymore or whatever, like wiggle out and Claymore him and then win. I definitely thought this was going to be that, but then it didn't. That was good.
Yeah, he's got the bracelet on. He touches the final post. The crowd goes nuts.
Yeah.
He's happy. All the lights are lit up.
You know, there was a really happy accident when they fucked up the tables, which, by the way, all the table, like the announce table stuff was great. I have really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that it didn't break. I enjoyed the first time. It was all very fun to me. But the camera was doing that thing that you and I don't like, where they were drawing a giant circle around the bracelet. And there was a part where after the table broke where like Punk clocked it and he was looking at it, and he even did a thing where he went like, I could get the bracelet now, but I'm going to try to win the match. I'm going to touch the post.
Yeah. And
when that happened, commentary was talking about how they no longer had monitors. And then like 5 minutes passes. And I think at that point, somebody was like, oh, I think he clocked that bracelet on the wrist. Like Punk finally noticed the bracelet. And it was good because had they noticed that the 5 minutes earlier, it would have been 5 minutes too long of them talking about the bracelet on commentary. And so we got to just experience it the way that like it looks from a distance instead of the excessive WWE commentary of like beating a premise to death for the entirety of a match. I thought that was a nice little happy accident that those monitors were taken out personally.
Well, that's their job. And they couldn't do their job that well. And it was dangerous.
Oh, so wait, because they couldn't do their job that well, does their pay get docked? But then they see if Punk, like they make Punk pay for it because like he took out the monitors?
Well, their pay doesn't get docked. They get docked.
Ooh, did they get cut off a digit or something?
No, they isn't that when you release everyone's information online?
I think it's called doxing. I think it's called doxing. You dox.
Oh, doxing.
Yeah. I think docking is when 2 men take their penises and they touch the tips, or if one of them is uncircumcised, they wrap the foreskin around the front of the other. I believe that's docking.
Huh. I think it's this. You know, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure specifically it's this scenario. It could also be this scenario as well. I think. I'm not sure. You're saying I'm the guy that sees dicks everywhere? You're the guy that's smooshing dicks together everywhere.
Listen, I'm not gonna speak about my genitalia and the situation, but I don't have the means to dock. I don't think.
Well, then I'm glad you have the nicety.
I think I just spoke about my genitalia in detail. I apologize, listeners. I don't know where this came from, but it was all because he was talking about docking, and I knew people were going to text or write about it in the Discord. I just want to get ahead of it.
Yeah, you did. You sure did. You got head on with that thing.
To get a whole head of it.
Fantastic match. It
was fun.
Bittersweet that it's over between these two.
A little bit
for now.
Another thing about this match though was excessive spray tanning and white trunks don't mix. They don't go together.
But I love it.
His white trunks were bright orange by the time this match was over. Oh, and the blood too. He got like, we couldn't figure out where he was. Did he get cut like in between his eyes, like on the bridge of his nose?
I thought it was on the eyebrow.
Oh, is that where it was?
Like somewhere basically around there, like the sort a Harley race type of way.
Right.
Couldn't tell what initially did it, whether it was a punch or a headbutt. But then when Drew saw it, and then they probably both went like,
it was great.
Let's go, lean into it.
Yeah. He definitely tried to make it worse after a little bit, like once he saw it. But yeah, it was. I mean, this was fucking great. These guys, they have it.
They did a really great job in this match of the game showy, super fun, like look at the lights and touch all the four corners sports entertainment of it all, right? Where it's a strap match, but we're not focusing on that part. We're not making it the old school way of like, they're just going to beat each other to death with a strap.
Right.
They made the emphasis, no, we're going to beat each other to death with the strap. And then at the end, we're going to do this.
Right.
They did it like once or twice in between. Like it wasn't a pivotal part of it.
Right.
They really made it about, I'm going to beat the hell out of you, and then I'll think about winning the match.
Right.
Which was, I think, the best setting for this.
That just reminded me, though, about what your rules were about the offensive maneuver. Is being carried by your opponent considered an offensive maneuver? Because Punk was doing his little, like, turnbuckle switch for that one bit. And I don't think that would... I think that the second he was being carried by Drew to the next turnbuckle, I think that's offense.
No, because he's moving him as though he were knocked out, and he's just pulling him by the strap. Like, it's no different.
All right. Okay. But you were the one not being moved. Like, he was just being carried to each of the turnbuckles. Anyways, that was a very...
That's what I'm saying. You no matter what, you are being moved because you're connected via strap.
Sure. Okay.
So if you're knocked out cold and you're...
Yeah, but if you're knocked out cold, you're not the one hitting the turnbuckles. You're not the one doing the offensive turnbuckling. Yeah,
but you're not doing a move. You're just also doing it.
That's fair.
So they could run.
That's why they both
like they could be at sides of one side and both hit one.
Right.
That's fine. And then both run to another one, and they could just keep scrambling and trying to crisscross each other and hit them all four all at once.
What if that's what one of these matches just was? It was just the two guys both touch the turnbuckle that they're next to, and then they just both run clockwise and try to see who can get to all of them fastest.
That'd be amazing.
The whole match took 2 seconds.
Or then they yank the guy at the last second and he trips, and you go and get that last one.
That'd be fun. But yeah, this was great. These guys are great. CM Punk's looking good. He's looking beefy. I like that he put on it seems like he beefed up a little bit, especially in there against this monster that is Drew McIntyre. I think that helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, a lot of fun.
Next up were the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus the Judgment Day's Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan in a mixed tag team match.
Yeah. This was another like booking issue that I had, and I guess this is just maybe it's tougher because of Damian, because I do feel like maybe Finn's gonna beat Damian for that title at some point, maybe. But
what title?
Oh shit, he doesn't have the title anymore. I'm sorry, I meant he's gonna beat him, like in their feud. Then sorry. Maybe not, but I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I felt like this is the feel-good match. You want the fans to see them beat up the Judgment Day, but also the Judgment Day is what, fucking 5 people, and they couldn't take it. I feel like this hurt the legitimacy of the Judgment Day as actual threats.
Hold on, one of them's Carlito. So I feel is like that even really a person?
I feel like they. Why do you have such a problem with being cool? God, you're always so hot. I just feel like
he's not cool.
Get there.
He spits in the face of people who want to be cool.
No, who don't want to be cool. His line is, "I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool."
But that doesn't make him cool. It's just like you don't want it? Puh. But he himself is not awesome.
Maybe it doesn't.
Or cool. There's no branding that says Carlito is cool.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He wastes fruit.
You know what it makes him?
And spreads COVID.
I was going to say, it makes him patient zero for the next pandemic. That's what it makes him. Anyways, point I'm making is I feel like both Rhea and Priest they could get their revenge in their singles matches. I feel like this should have been the rest of Judgment Day showing that they are still actually a threat without these two. I feel like Judgment Day should have came out on top here, that Rhea and Liv should have came on top, and then they could have lost. I think Rhea definitely needs to beat Liv for that title back at some point, and so I just think that.
So you wanted Judgment Day to take over SummerSlam, screw up 2 title matches,
Yes.
and then have a win again?
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
I don't know.
Because it was Rhea that just beat Liv. That's how this ends. And then Rhea she got her hands a little bit on Dominic, which was one of the highlights of the match.
And you think
it's all about Rhea's teeth.
I guess that isn't
like
I'm not seeing it as that's how this ends. I still feel like we have another singles match coming, but maybe
there's more to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like they had to rise. Like they had to get a win under their belt, but still not have everything. Like Rhea didn't get her title back.
Sure.
She didn't get her hands on Dominic enough that the crowd wanted to see. I don't know what the fuck happened to Finn. Finn has turned into a cartoon character. He took that super kick and he's I don't know. I joke that he's taking the Steve Sears school of acting, but it's worse than that. I've seen Hogan in movies do more realistic acting than what fucking Finn Balor's doing.
Maybe
if you go back and watch that super kick, it's horrible.
Maybe he had just watched HBK versus Hogan, and he was like, "God, HBK is a great wrestler."
He's selling, but not what Finn is doing. I don't know. Finn had like 3 injuries all at once.
I'm not.
He goes loopy in his head.
I'm remembering what you were referencing,
and then then holds his chin, and then changes to the back of his neck.
Does he?
It's awful. It's 10 times of awful.
One thing that was
I liked it. I liked that they got the win. The moment where Rhea's got Dominic in the leg scissors by his throat.
Yeah, that was good.
And it's just like fucking rocking back and forth, and her teeth are all snared. If you watch the end music video of the Rat-a-tat-tat song, through that moment, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, you'll never forget it with that music in that moment, because it's like right on the drum beats that it's slamming, and she's slamming his head back and forth. But, Damien doesn't get really any justice in all this. It's all about Rhea got her moment. Right. But there's so much more to happen. I thought it was great. I think they needed something, because
sunset
go crazy for them.
That sunset flip on the outside to the barricade was insane. That looked so good. It was brutal looking. Rhea took it like a champ. I believed that Liv actually had the power to do it because she came from an elevated state. Like, that was such a good moment that made me pop, because there was a lot of great little moments with everybody. That was like, when it came to like a wrestling spot that I feel like I haven't seen, hitting it at the angle that she did, like kind of near the entrance. That was fucking great. Yeah. But
it was good. It was a good way of showing that Liv could do something to Rhea that is plausible.
Yeah. And the guys, every member of this has some semblance of chemistry with somebody else. Maybe Finn is doing a little bit too much on your part, but other than that, I mean, it was good. That pin was very suggestive. I just want to go ahead and say that.
The pretzel pin?
Very suggestive. What did you call it?
That's what Rhea called it.
The pretzel pin?
Pretzel pin.
Interesting. Another thing overall for the evening, speaking of things that were very attractive, did you catch this? There was this one really strikingly beautiful woman that was in the audience that it was very clear the camera guy was like, man, I really want to look at this girl, because they kept cutting to this woman multiple times throughout the evening. Did you catch this? She was she had kind of like thin, straight brunette hair. And it seemed like she was always sort of standing up, but there was nobody standing next to her. I kept wondering if it was like a celebrity that they were cutting to on purpose, but I think it was just some fan who was just like really into it. But She was really pretty, and I feel like they cut to her more time. I saw her more times than I saw the commentary team.
I guess it just didn't pay attention.
Somebody in the truck had a little crush, and I respect it.
Oh. Well, it wasn't Mr. Dunn.
She was lovely. At some point, I also wondered if it was somebody's wife. I was like, oh, is this like... But I don't recognize her as like Randy's wife or anybody's wife that I would know. She's not Gunther's new wife.
No.
But anyways.
I don't know.
Speak of the devil, that brings us
Could be someone's new wife at some point here.
I don't know. That camera
Play your
guy,
cards right.
That camera guy, if he has any saying it. Our main event for the World Championship, not the WWE Championship, but the one for the whole world, bigger than WWE.
Yeah,
but not
the Saudi Championship.
Man, these fucking two guys are good. How did you feel about the audience? You tend to not enjoy a raucous audience. What did you think about the Germans?
I liked it because when I don't know what they're talking about, it's fine.
Okay.
And there was definitely a few of those where I'm like, well, I don't know what this is. They translated some of them in the beginning. I was paying attention, and then I stopped caring. But one I kept hearing over and over again that I think was translated to "In Your Face." And one of the little songs, I was like, okay.
It's fun.
If you want to just keep chanting "In Your Face" all night, sure, I guess good for you guys. But a lot of them seemed appropriate. This was the match, though, however, where the crowd was fine, chant for their chants, sing along with songs, like all that's fine, perfectly acceptable, cool. This match, though, they took it upon themselves to go, now we're the show.
Oh, okay.
Now it's about us.
That was what your tipping point was for the most part.
That I was not okay with, but somebody stopped it. Somebody saved the whole damn thing. That was Randy Orton.
What did he do?
Because once they started the wave, once they started doing that shit, then because Orton kept taking stuff in, like the songs, and he'd do like his little golf clap of like, yeah, all right, good for you. You do your thing. Like, this is cool. I'm taking it all in. Then they started the wave, and they've been doing headlock stuff back and forth, which is clearly a major story element in this match.
Right.
So Orton stops everything and like sees the wave and waits for it to go around, and then does a pseudo wave of like he does it, and then jokes to Gunther, goes, I want to see you do it. And the crowd erupts. Right. Because they're like, he did the thing. He would. Right. And it stopped all of their bullshit. Right.
It was like
it stopped them.
Yeah, you didn't ignore them to the point where then they just wanted to keep doing it. You acknowledged it, which allowed them all to move on.
Yes. Right. And it brought it back to them in the show.
Talk about...
And then it was just back to cheering and being excited for the match and not, we're going to do everything else to distract and we're bored or whatever it is. Like, he took it all back.
Talk about...
It's masterful.
Night and day from what I really think was the Randy Orton of old. I think it might have been him and Sheamus. Do you remember there was that one match? It might have been a Raw after Mania or something like that, where the crowd was just couldn't give two fucks what they were doing in the ring. And you could see how Orton just checked out. Like, I vividly remember this match, or I clearly don't because I don't remember who else was in it, but I remember it was Orton. I want to say it was Orton and Sheamus. And
there's certainly a number of Raw after Mania, but by the main event, people were just...
Orton was fucking
in
done.
Another world.
He was uninterested. He gave like the most lackluster, boring, uninterested, uninspired performance, just got through the match, and you could tell he was pissed. And it was one of those instances where I remember it, we even used to talk about it, where I feel like Orton like needs to be feeling it in order to like be good. And if he's upset or if there's something wrong, then he kind of isn't very good. But I feel like he's gotten to a point now where he's just so good that he can make himself feel it. He can make the audience feel it. Like he's got so much command now, more than I think he ever did. I think,
and it's different now. I think there were certainly a lot of Vince rules.
Sure, right.
With interaction with the crowd and stuff like that others can't give it all to Triple H because I don't know.
Right, of course.
Because Vince was running the show, but there was clear, strict, like, don't do this. Just get to the ring. No signing autographs. No this or that. Like, keep it about the TV show, less about the people there. Orton, since the changeover has happened, him, Sheamus, there's like another 2 guys that are just clearly, there's a new life in them, and they're totally different and more spontaneous to watch. Sheamus is a fucking joy to watch right now. I haven't thought about that with Sheamus in a long time.
Yeah.
But they will command the room. And Orton, I feel like masterfully also went. Our first match, we had to go out and really put it on and really impress. They're going to love you.
Right.
This crowd's going to love you, Gunther. So we can get away with a lot less. Like, we don't have to get crazy with it. We can tell a simpler story and it'll be raucous.
And God, these guys just have such good chemistry. This had such a big fight feel. I loved that the crowd was split because, I mean, this is not Germany's own Gunther. Not hometown hero, not national treasure.
Yeah, but he's next door.
They literally made a point of saying like, oh, he grew up just outside the border of Germany.
Yeah,
also
but
known as not
as
German.
You're gonna get.
I know, but it was very funny to me that they built this whole thing and he's like, yeah, this isn't my country. But nice to be here. We speak the same language. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's not
all
much
of
to
Canada
say, like-
claimed Bret Hart, but come on, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really have much to say because it was just so fucking good. Like, I don't really have any criticisms of it. Their work on the outside was great. They told such good stories. Like, and
Taking away Gunther's arm
brilliant.
and Gunther selling it in such a way. I rewound a couple of times because I was like, did he legit get a little messed up? Because he's not holding it in a normal wrestler way, and it was the right arm. It wasn't the left. Which is so unusual, right? You always work the left. That was fascinating to me, that it takes away a lot of Gunther's offense, and then Orton not being able to hit the RKO. It was so simple, so enjoyable, and towards the end when Gunther just keeps going for the headlock because that's
Right.
what he's capable of getting,
right.
and then Orton, the one where he finally breaks it, and he's sitting down with him, and he's sitting in front of him, and Gunther's sitting behind him. His legs are on either side of him. And Orton has an amazing moment where he just has a sigh of relief, like, fuck, I finally got it off.
Right, God,
and then Gunther
I can
rises
breathe.
up and clasps him again.
Yeah.
And that's the final sequence. And Orton's so good at selling that the moment he's starting to go, he's trying to get a finger or just anything up there, and then the eyes are dimming, and he just goes out, and it looks about as real as you could get with someone being choked out. And there's a funny moment afterwards where Gunther wins. I thought it was an amazing ending.
Yeah.
And Gunther's going like, ref, get him off me. Like, I need to get up.
Right.
And Charles Robinson goes to Orton and goes like, hey, yeah, you need to move. And whether Orton mumbles something or not, but it's like, dude, I'm
fucking dead.
Out.
Right.
Like, I'm doing this as real as I can.
Right.
And Robinson does like oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. I've been working with schlubs for a long time. I'm sorry. You're right. And then so he starts to physically move Orton. But the only thing I think is a little goofy is just the overall WWE-ness of it all. When someone gets a legit injury or something to their head or they're bleeding, everything stops. Everyone checks everything. The man was choked out, and it's like, all right, here's the winner.
Fine.
I'll go get the belt. Then I'm not going to check on this guy's brain or
he's
any
fine.
of his functions.
I'm sure he's breathing.
Yeah, everything's fine. His brain shut down.
Yeah, there was also that overproduced moment where at some point it looked like Gunther was gonna get out of the ring, and Lil Nate was like, "No, you're not done yet." Like, shake his hand or whatever. Yeah, it was kind of one of those, but all in all,
that was great.
man.
I could watch it again, the match, and then them going again. I like that Ludwig Kaiser did the intro, but then he didn't interfere in any way.
Nope.
Because they needed to recuperate all that back from Judgment Day helping out Gunther to get the title. But this was They solidified Gunther as he bested Orton.
Yeah.
He got a lot of his offense taken away, but still found a way to win. Beat the legend. Has this epic match, and there was no additional help. He won it. So good. He looks stronger than Cody in one match than
honestly,
Cody has for most of his babyface run.
You're not wrong. Well, when they decide to unify the titles and then separate them and unify them and separate them, maybe we'll get both of them together. But all in all, Bash at the Berlin.
Inside.
Basham Brothers in Berlin.
Oh, and we forgot the amazing moment. I was talking with Zeka over Marco Polo about this, and this is his take on it, and I totally agree. They have the German announcer come in the ring at one point, I think in between the semi-main and the main, and talks to the crowd and says, "Congratulations! This is the highest grossing event in WWE history." And the crowd goes, Oh, okay, cool.
You made a lot of money. Congratulations.
You just way more than you do other people. Like I think it was France was the highest grossing, and then there's something else this year. So they've topped it twice now. I don't know why they tell the crowd that.
No.
Like they're supposed to go,
hey, we contributed to
there's more
capitalism.
So strange that it's not like here's the number for tonight. There's how many of you are. You're all fans. No, we fucking stole from you.
I'm so glad that I had
money.
I'm so glad I had to sell that plasma to pay for these tickets. All right. All in all, overall, what'd you think?
A very good show.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, I think a very well paced. Matches didn't feel too long. A lot of great moments, and 4 out of 5, I'd watch again.
Yeah.
Just really solid, and a couple ellipses of, well, now what?
Right. I don't disagree. Yeah, like I said at the top, I do think I have a couple little booking issues, and you've shed some light and you've explained your point on those, and I don't disagree with you with your premises. There are some things I still kind of go, I'm not sure about that, but I didn't disenjoy it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't enough to make it ruin the moments for me, and everybody is just doing very good. Like they're doing good work well there. Like they understand the assignment, even if the assignment isn't something that I necessarily agree with all the time, and therefore I can't fault anybody.
And it's nice watching these compared to the, your top 4, your Rumble, your Mania. It's just the most important stories for the most part, like the top people in a show, and it's really big stuff. And that's it. It's like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, just the top stuff. And it's a big deal to watch.
Palski's quick disclaimer there. I do apologize. We had a bit of a technical issue. And so that the episode thus far might have sounded a little wonky. I've had to use the recording I have of Scott's Zoom because of an error. So just a little disclaimer. Sorry if it sounded a little wonky, but we're good now, moving forward. And that's for the best, because it is time to go to the hotline. That is 747-666-5606, or you can send a voice memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. That's hotline@pwpalskis.com. Scott Narver, you want to see what the hotline has in store for us today?
Certainly do.
Hey, fellas. It's Lewis from Houston, AOPW_figures. First of all, hope you guys are doing well. Jake, you're now in Texas, so that's pretty cool. But the reason I'm calling is because I just listened to the most recent episode at the time of this recording, in which you guys are talking about the Discord, about joining the Discord, and Scott goes, it's so easy, even I can use it. And then Jake proceeds to say, and he's something along the lines of he's a fucking idiot and who sees dicks everywhere. And I was in the middle of sipping my coffee at work when I did my first legitimate spit take in probably the last I don't know, 20 years, onto my computer, onto my keyboard. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know why that caught me off guard. The timing of that was so perfect. And it just, I just had to call you guys and tell you that, I both loved that it happened and hate the result of it. Hope you guys are doing well. Keep up the great work as usual. And, thank you for all of that. All right. Peace out, guys. Bye.
Lewis from Houston, AOPW _figures, I think, on Instagram. I don't know, post in the Discord if I get that wrong. Really fun little Instagram he's got there. I am pleased that we could bring you joy, and I apologize about what I assume is now a broken keyboard. If you'd
Not
like,
me. I am trying to regulate people's coffee intake, so this is good.
If you want to post the link to your GoFundMe in the Discord, the aforementioned Discord, for a new computer keyboard, we'll all donate $1.
Jake will donate $2 on my behalf.
On your behalf? Why? Wait. So I have to donate $3, one on my behalf and two on your behalf? Why can't you donate?
Yeah. Because you're speaking for me, so I'm allowing you to donate for me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I was speaking for you. I apologize. What did I say in your
Don't
behalf?
worry. You show me the dollar bill, and I'll show you the dick in it.
You do see dicks in everything. In absolutely everything. Yeah, not much more to say there. Thanks so much for that. We love you, bud. And thanks for calling and letting us know that I thoroughly enjoyed your had I been drinking coffee while listening to your voicemail, I would have done a spit take as well.
There you go. It's just this reciprocal spit take that will never end.
Just
ongoing. When was the last time you did a spit take?
I don't remember. I know I've done one or two before where I had, but I don't think I did the full on, like, it went everywhere. I think I did the kind where you kind of catch yourself and maybe, like, you know, it like falls out of your mouth more than you do like a proper.
When was the last time you had someone do it in front of you, like you made them laugh and there was a spit take?
I think actually just like a couple weeks ago at the dinner table
with
my in-laws. It wasn't a full-fledged like spray, but it was a like mid-drink cup blower by my future mother-in-law.
Okay. Hopefully it was something funny and not just like, yeah. You're going to be my mother-in-law.
No, it was, I don't remember what it was, but it was, I said something humorous,
my podcast partner sees dicks everywhere.
That he does. Well, once again, 747-666-5606 if you want to call the hotline, or you can send a voice memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. Scott Narver, it is time for the September Championship Palski Battle Royal. If you're not sure what this is, well, you got to head on over to patreon.com/pwpalskis and find out. Each and every month, all eligible Palskis are entered into the Championship Battle Royal, the winner of which is named the champion for the month, gets an item of their choosing from the shop, and gets to select a watch-along for us. Current record-setting champion Andrea Beeler. Andrea, I have not yet sent out your email from last month. I know that I'm a month overdue. I apologize. I've been very busy, but that will come to you shortly, and you will be able to claim your prize. Congrats on a record-setting reign, and I guess we'll find out right now whether it's going to continue. Scott, are you ready?
Can't stop, won't stop. Andrea Beeler.
All right.
That's my prediction.
All righty.
It's happening
without
right now.
Further ado,
anything could happen.
Without further ado, and new PWP champ for the month of September, Mike Lucas, aka Hackensack. Mike Lucas Congrats on your victory. Let me take a look in the sheet here. Let's get some stats, because boy, oh boy, do we love some stats around here. Mike Lucas, September's champ. Writing it down. Mike Lucas was last champ in February of this year. And it looks like this might be his 5th title reign. Which just goes to show you, kids, if you become a championship patron, you've got very good odds of becoming a champion, not just once, but more than once. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you to each and every one of you for your continued support of this program. We would not, could not, should not do this without you. And if you're listening to this, I really encourage you to head on over to patreon.com/PWPalskis. Check out our Patreon. There are hundreds of bonus episodes there. The watch along series is still going strong. There are a ton of those, years worth of those. There's now a video version of that, so you can watch along right there with us. You don't have to worry about syncing your playback if you listen to the audio. There is so much material at the Patreon. I'm going to argue too much material. I'm going to argue there is too much there for how cheap it is to become a patron. It is the best deal in wrestling town. So please consider.
You heard it here first. We're taking away Patreon content. Too much.
Yeah, too much. So please consider becoming a patron today. It is the only way that we make any money doing this program. There's no ads. There's no sponsors. So this is the commercial. The commercial is now over. Please consider helping us out. We appreciate you. With that said, Scott, I think it's time to thank our current Patreon Palskis.
Yes, the only show that hands out retribution names as well as maximum male model names. Why? Because Mansoor would want it that way. And we have a new maximum male model name to hand out.
Ooh.
Been contemplating this one for a little bit, so I'll save that one for the end.
I'm excited.
So thank you to Alex Pierce, a.k.a. Figs, a.k.a. Zitoys, Andrew Beeler, a.k.a. Pollen Hate, a.k.a. At You Detest, Curtis Mason, a.k.a. Hurtis, a.k.a. Auche, Gilbert Short, a.k.a. Goliathon, a.k.a. Batal Under Ruse, Maslama, a.k.a. Spitz, a.k.a. Jakara Lover, Michael Beltran, a.k.a. Limestone, a.k.a. La Naturel, Mike Lucas, a.k.a. Hackensack, a.k.a. Luger Testicle, a.k.a. the new PWP champ, Miguel Diaz, a.k.a. Bipod, a.k.a. Too Much Husk, Tim Redbeard, a.k.a. Blood Fuzz, a.k.a. Blue Diffuse, Tom Hader, a.k.a. Cupid, a.k.a. Cherub, Tony Griggs, a.k.a. Big Griggs, a.k.a. Grand Grisois, and Suicide, a.k.a. and now with a maximum male model name of Je ne sais who.
Je ne sais who. Oh, I like it. Is there an actual question mark in the name, or is it just je ne sais who?
Je ne sais who is all in capitals.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's got to be capital. So when you say his name now, there's going to be 3 AKAs all next to each other, I hope.
Yes.
I'm excited. Thanks again to all of you for your support. Hey, if you're not in the Discord, you should head on over to pwpalskis.com. Click the Discord link there. It's completely free, unrelated to the Patreon. Join the Discord. Tell us what you thought of Bash in Berlin. And by the way, you should be there during the what do they call it? Premium live events. It is a super fun place to be during any live wrestling show. It's just like hanging out with all your friends, chatting wrestling in real time. Yeah, make sure you're following us on all the socials at PW Palskis and all the other good stuff. I'm at Jake Lloyd Bacon. He's at Scott Narver. That'll do it for this week. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, an absolute blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
If you're enjoying this podcast or any podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon shop. You can tout your podcast pride while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. Make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com. Get your dragon swag on.
It's Dragon Wagon.